So we are
Nice.
live. Yeah. So yeah, welcome, Samson. Segun, I should say. Which one is fine by
Thanks for
you?
having me. I think Samson has been what I've been going by lately, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
okay.
Yeah. So nice to have you, Samson. Obviously, me and you go way back.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I wouldn't bore people with the story. I guess I'll better capture this in a proper well written aspect of this.
Right.
Without further ado, tell us about yourself, Samson, your background,
Sure.
yeah, how would you describe yourself and what you're coming
Um,
from?
yeah, man. I think first off, I'm Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian artist, but I think if I'm trying to like capture everything I am, it's a lot because I feel like I'm more creative than just even animation, which is the field I actually work in. But just for context, I'm a character designer, 3D artist, surface art in the animation industry for over 10 years. Um, Currently, I'm working on a feature film with a team in Australia, and it's really amazing. The project is massive. I can't just say anything yet because of NDAs, but yeah. Over the years, I've worked on different projects. I've worked with you. I've worked with a lot of Nigerian companies. I've worked with some companies in Canada, America, South Africa, Japan. I've worked across, but as well as art, I also do music. I write songs for my church and I write personal music too. I used to be a dancer, but that career died. But yeah, I'm just an all-round creative, really. Yeah, if you ask me.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, yeah, I mean, interesting. But how did your journey start? I mean, how did you get started with the art?
Mm, with animation, I think curiosity of watching animation, watching. I know Spider-Man, Superman, X-Men. There's this X-Men cartoon about the younger version of X-Men. I can't remember the name now, but that cartoon actually stuck with me. But yeah, cartoon and comics actually inspired me. It was something I just liked a lot, but I didn't know it was a career or anything till secondary school. It was literally SS3. That's in Nigeria. We call it like senior secondary school. It was my first time in the first class, I think so. Then I met my friend. He had another friend. His name is also Segun, interestingly, and John. Both of them actually draw comics. And I was like, what is this you guys do? I really like this thing. Like I like animation and stuff. So we started drawing together, spending so much time drawing. I know that was all we did. And I was a science student at the time. So that was when I knew, man, I don't think I'm gonna be a science student because my goal was to be a doctor. I was like, nah, there's no way. I really like drawing a lot. So that was where I think it started from.
Hmm.
Drawing comics, making our own stories. Naruto was a very influential one too. Uh, Avatar: The Last Airbender was a specific moment in time that actually inspired us a lot. So yeah, that was comics and animation started it for me. Yeah.
Okay. So what I get from you is, I mean, you started out, just drawing with your friends.
Mhm.
Did you at any point, go through some form of formal training to hone your skills?
Well, I think I had different series. So when I started out, we just did, self practice. I mean, there was no money to go to any school at the time for animation, whatever. So we're just drawing our own. But I remember we discovered a Nigerian comic, Dark Age at the time, and we went to one of the writer who actually had like a training thing he was doing with like young adults and stuff. So we were with him for a while. We did internship and started doing comics. That's where we did our first Nigerian comics at the time.
Hmm.
So after that, we got a job. Well, I say we because I actually grew up with my friends. Like in this, I didn't do it alone, and that's one thing I think helped me a lot. I didn't do it alone. I had friends that actually struggled with me, so that was really helpful. So we got a job in Lantern, and I would say even the job was more of a training ground because we're the youngest. We were like in the rooms with like men of like 40, 50 people
Mhm.
doing this for like 20 years. We were just in it like for something we love. So they brought us in. We grew through the process. We're getting paid. It was a professional job, but at the same time, we learned a lot. Um, then after that, I remember the first official training I paid for was CGMA, Computer Graphics Master Academy in the US. I remember that period was really tough because my parents wanted me to go to the school you actually started. You had a journey already. Like, where's this art thing coming from? I was like, no, I really want to, pursue art. So I was like, I'm not gonna go to like uni and stuff here. I'm just gonna try to study. If that's what it takes, I have to gather money to study. So I think I saved a lot at the time. It wasn't so much money, but for me at that time it was a lot. So I took my first class online, and that just changed everything, because that actually directly connected me to like professionals in the industry globally. So that changed the whole game for me. Yeah.
Interesting. That's good to hear. So, Lantern, for people who are out there who may not know Lantern was or is a publishing company in Nigeria. I
Yeah,
don't know
the
if they're still
biggest.
around. Yeah, okay. And yeah, I don't know if they're still around though, but
Not sure.
okay, yeah, Lantern. I know Lantern because I read a couple of their books
Mhm.
growing up also. And then CGMA, you mentioned
Yeah,
CGMA. So that was an online
online course.
course
Yeah,
or that
they
you
still
took.
until today actually. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. And that was a major turning point for you
Yep.
in your career as an
Yeah.
artist. Okay. So since going professional, Segun,
Mhm.
what are your standout moments? What are the standout moments in your
So
career, the
many,
highlights?
so many. But one I would say I hold dear is the domestic award, because for
Hmm.
me it's like a moment in time that just solidify. Okay, I'm actually doing this thing right, and for people to pick me out, and not just pick me out as an artist, but as someone that can actually give back. That
Hmm.
changed everything for me. That's like one of the major highlights for me. Being able to like represent my culture and actually show a lot of young people that it's possible. Because I know if I had seen that,
Hmm.
someone doing that at that level, that would have changed everything for me. So being able to be that person, I think that's like a major highlight for me. But again, so many other projects have been super successful. I've been part of it, but that one, yeah, that one is one I'll put there. Yeah.
And that's the Domestika course out there,
Yes.
right? Where
Yes.
people can actively go and learn from you, your
Yeah.
illustration styles, your
Yeah.
painting styles.
Yeah.
And I think I was looking at it the other day, and I think you already have thousands of
Yeah.
people
Like 1,000
who've
plus.
taken
Yeah.
who've taken your
Yeah. That's
course. And
that's that's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, I've also recommended it to a few people.
Thank you.
I know that my partner Tugu, he's mentioned it one time, and I don't know if he's taken it already, but that just shows you how much, how much of an impact it is on
Yeah.
people
I'm
and the
really
reach
grateful.
also. So yeah, so that's good to hear that that's one of the standout moments in your career.
Hmm.
How about any other one you want to share by way of projects and
Um,
accomplishments?
I think the first international project I did, which is just till today, I still ask myself, how did that even happen? I just got a random email. I was working at the company at the time. I can't remember where I was working, but I was working in Nigeria at the time. And I just got an email like, hey, Samson, I'm from Glasgow, studio in Glasgow, Axis Studio. We're starting out an animation studio. We saw your stuff and would like to reach out to you if you're going to be part of the team. I was like, wait, what's going on here? It makes no
Hmm.
sense. I just create my stuff and just post, just create. And it's like, I call Art Station, because this was an Art Station. I call Art Station like the sea of artists. There's so many amazing artists, like A of the A of the A of the A are there. But I was single-handedly, highlighted, and they reached out and they were like, yeah, we like your stuff, we want you to jump on. I think that one was what broke out the whole international, opportunities for me.
Ah.
Yeah, that's a moment too. That's
Hmm.
one moment I will not forget.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. I'm sure we can go. I'm sure we can go on and on,
Oh yeah, there's so many.
going by, the number of works that you have out there
Hmm.
and that you've been part of. But we will definitely touch on some of them as
Sure,
we go along.
sure.
But on to my next question.
Hmm.
You mentioned, the Domestika course as one of your highlights.
Right.
Where you're getting to teach people, skills and things like that. But
Yeah.
then you also mentioned the fact that he highlighted your culture, in a sense,
Yes.
and I'm curious to hear what cultural influences you have on your art. Can you
Right.
share that with us?
Right. I think everything I do really is inspired by my art, because art is just really expression.
Hmm.
I know when I started out, I was literally just mimicking, Marvel comics, DC comics, and all the cartoons I see. But over time, I started getting inspired by, who I am. And I know one thing that actually made me embrace my culture till today, I always give credit to that comic. It's called Dark Age comic. That was the first Nigerian comic I've ever seen.
Dark Edge.
And it just changed everything, because it was the same comic panels and everything, but the drawings were like Nigerian. You could tell like this is African, this is Nigerian. So that just changed. I think from that moment, I changed my style. I started drawing more characters that represent me, more characters that represent our colors, our art, our lifestyle.
Hmm.
And again, Domestika was specific. We wanted you to teach a course on character design, but from your perspective.
Hmm.
from your creative process. And that was when I realized, yeah, there's something unique about, drawing from your culture. I just draw, I just draw black characters. I didn't really care.
I know.
But, having those conversations, I knew, okay. And over time, like most of the jobs I get, people hire me for specific roles. When I realized, oh, this is actually a story only someone like me can tell. Nobody else can tell you. Because if you look at cowboy stories, it's just weird for a Nigerian to sit down and say you're doing a cowboy story. Come on, man. You just be reading what has been created. But if you're creating something about, let's say, like native hunters in the Yoruba land, it's gonna be so unique. Because you could literally just go meet like one old man in the village and he will tell you stories that will just blow your mind. And these are actual stories. So like drawing from the culture just changed everything for me, and it made me more proud and confident that I actually have something different to offer. Yeah.
Interesting that you mentioned this. So what you're telling me is that people would specifically, because I mean, art, like you mentioned, is an expression, and I mean, just at the very basic level, it feels like, okay, I mean, it's drawing, right? Everybody can draw. Like you just mentioned, when you go to Art Station, there's tons of artists in there.
So many.
But what sets you apart is you're letting us know now that the way that you're able to creatively express your culture in your art, which it's very obvious when anyone goes through your portfolio. It's the one thing that sets you apart so much that opportunities have come your way. That's what you're letting us know. Interesting.
Yeah. Like I mean, it's a good thing that now in the world generally, everything is acceptable. Not like everything is acceptable, but like representation matters now. So so you want to use that to your benefit, really. So
Interesting. That's a good one. I'm also curious to hear. I mean, obviously, when I met you and and we worked together, we were back in Nigeria at the time, and now you're based in Toronto, or Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to hear what it's like for you as an artist, in a different environment, So, and I say this because I mean, the world is a global village now. Opportunities are pretty global, and people find themselves in one environment today and another environment tomorrow. So, how has Segun from Lagos, Nigeria, gone about the process of navigating the Canadian industry as a professional?
Still learning it. It's like a daily, it's a daily thing for me. But I think one thing that helped me was even before I left Nigeria, even before I, came to Canada, my mind was already functioning as an international artist. So coming here, till today, people don't believe I just moved here. People feel like you've been here for so long. Like, come on, like, even your dressing style and the way you draw, and you must have been here for a while. But no, because again, like ever since I took the course, the CGME course, which was an international, I still have my classmates today that are like in Disney, Pixar, different places in the world. That just opened my mind to the industry. The industry, first off, it's not in one continent, it's global, right? So like because I knew how I was intentional about like my designs, I made it universal and not just too, again, that's one thing, that's one trap. If you get too cultural and tie everything you do as an artist to just one, how do I put it, to just one culture, it's a good thing. But again, if you want to be like a global artist, like I am, it could be a problem because not all projects will be representing your culture. So you have to be able to like, cut across. So that helped me being able to like travel around, and I have multiple projects. So coming here, it wasn't too hard. I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest challenge I would say I have now is just accepting the fact that the industry has changed. Yeah.
How so?
Now, that's a whole different conversation. But just to wrap it up easy is before I came here and when I started out, the industry used to be like, I'm just gonna join Disney and I'll be in Disney for 40 years, 30 years. I'll be here and this is it. Like I'll just get a permanent position. But coming here, I'm like, because we have the lack of the jobs in Nigeria and Africa in general. Every little one we had, we cherished it so much. But I realized here, it's different. It's just a job. It's literally just a job. It's just like banking and accounting. It's just a job. People get fired and they're like, yeah, I'll get another one tomorrow. It's just a job. So for me, switching my mindset to see it as just a job is really hard because this is all I know. So coming here and having to learn how to like let go sometime and not get too attached is like it's a big learning curve for me.
Hmm.
And I'm sure
Interesting.
you must know what I'm talking about. Like
Yes, definitely. I mean, I always, I mean, I can liken it to, I mean, I work in tech, right?
Mhm.
And I can tell you that when I was back home, if I had had an opportunity to work for one of the big global, I don't want to
Names,
single
yeah.
out anyone, but if I had the opportunity to work for, say, maybe a Google or a Facebook, as
Hmm.
an instance, no disrespect to them,
Hmm.
I would jump at, like, I would do anything to work for them,
Yeah, yeah.
but I can tell you that I'm not,
You're not
I
in that space
yeah,
anymore.
I'm not in that space anymore.
Yeah,
They're all, I mean, there's a lot more companies that are not
opportunities.
Googles or Facebooks out
Yeah,
here
yeah,
that offer what I want in terms of my values, in terms of
yeah,
flexibility, in terms of,
yeah,
so many other options that I
yeah,
don't have to gravitate towards. If anything, it
yeah.
might just be
Don't put
for,
all your eggs in that basket.
yeah, if anything, if I'm gravitating towards a so-called big tech company, it's because
Mhm.
I don't, maybe just for the name or something, but I'm
Yeah,
not in that space. So I definitely get what you mean.
yeah,
But,
man.
but where I'm also coming from, Segun, is,
Mhm,
so imagine, someone out there who's
mhm,
working as an artist or
mhm.
learning, growing up as an artist, or yeah, working towards becoming a full-time artist or a professional artist from
Right.
where we're coming from. And just imagining that if they're going to move to, for example, the US or
Mhm,
Canada or any other country,
mhm.
what kind of things should they be like? How do they position themselves? Because
Yeah.
yeah, how do
I'll say
because
like,
yeah.
yeah, I hear you. I'll say the moving should be mental first before you physically move.
Hmm,
And I say this in sense of like connect with people even before you move. Don't come here and start connecting. Before I came to Canada, and this is I still don't know who taught me this. I'm trying to find who gave me that information because I know I didn't find it myself.
hmm,
I wish I could give credit to the person, but I don't know. But like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's growing up in Nigeria. I don't know. But I've always been fearless connecting with people.
hmm,
I'm telling you, I have friends that are like top level, and I've been chatting with them even before they became like I hold dear to connections. I don't know how, I don't know, but that's one advice I would give.
hmm,
If you want to like go anywhere and gain ground or like build a name for yourself, start it before you go there
hmm,
and build a name around yourself. Really,
hmm,
um, because for me, like before coming here, I was connecting to studios, connecting to recruiters. I was already, doing all those things. So when I got here, it's a lot easier. The only thing that was hard was just the environment, getting used to. But for the industry, I was already, moving around. So that's one thing I'll say.
hmm,
Connect with people even before you get the jobs. Connect with people, like,
hmm,
and artists are like the most friendly people. I mean, there's some weirdos, but but like generally we are like creatives. Creatives are always fun people. So reach out to them. Connect with people. I think it helps a lot. That's
hmm,
one thing I'll say. It helps you even feel like you're not lost, like a fish out of water. You still find your way. Find the creative communities, connect with them. That's one thing I'll say. It's a
hmm.
mental thing, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So at the end of the day, everything adds up. Then the fact that
Everything
you
does, brother.
putting out good works as you have been doing, and then building your connections
Yeah.
also. So no, I mean, you can go from here to Japan,
Yeah.
to anywhere in the world, to Kenya, to South Africa, even
Hmm.
back to Nigeria, and there
Hmm.
will be no doubt about your credibility in terms of your
Exactly.
job, in terms
Yeah.
of your work quality also. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. Hmm. Okay, so I'm going to move now into your roles, and
Right.
this is the interesting bit that I also touched on earlier, which
Hmm.
was when I asked you about standout moments in your career.
Hmm.
I said we'll get to this because I think this will give us an
Great
opportunity
content.
to talk about. Yeah, so
Right.
I mean, you've been through comics, of course. When we worked together, we built interactive story apps
Yeah.
together.
It
We
was
built,
super fun.
we did 3D animation together
Yep.
also,
Yep. 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 Yep.
and then we did projects for other clients also. Some of the
Yeah.
clients based in the US and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you illustrated some of the books that are still out there to these days.
Hmm.
So I mean, credit to you. So you've been through comics, you've
Oh
been
yeah.
through movies. I was looking
Yeah.
up your works on IMDb,
Yeah.
and so yes, I mean, walk us through this. Talk us through these different roles, these different parts.
It's I don't know because my wife was actually mentioning this few days ago that I've actually morphed around different things. I think it's just again, I give credit to being from where I'm from. Because of the scarcity, it made I feel like a quote is coming out, but I can't put it together. But yeah, because of
Don't worry.
scarcity, being able to morph into different roles was the only way. That's the only way. It's not every time you get comic jobs, not every time you get characters. So you could always, do whatever needs to be done, really.
Mhm.
But one thing I knew for sure that drove me throughout this whole, or like my drive throughout this whole process was I love storytelling.
Hmm.
So whatever has storytelling in it, I'm there and I make it work. But starting from comics, I think comics again was a good foundation because every role I'm doing now, everything, comic has everything. If I'm being honest, is it character design? It's in comics. Is it storyboard? Is it comics? Is it 3D animation, 3D modeling? In a way, because in comics you're thinking of the world in 3D, not just in 2D. You're thinking of like, oh, this angle and that angle, storytelling is in it. Now most of what I do in my career now is like surfacing and painting, but again, I still did that in comics. So I think starting from comics helped out. But in general, I've just been able to morph, man. I don't think there's any formula.
Yeah. Do you want to name names? Because I mean, of course, I can refer. Well, I will definitely refer
Mhm,
people to your INDB and
mhm,
make mentions of that when this
mhm.
is out there. But I think it's worth mentioning. I mean, I know that you have there's some one or if not more on
Mm,
Netflix that people
yeah,
can go to what
yeah,
the guys I think Kugali or what's their
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
a project I'm waiting
yeah.
for.
I was reading about them the other day. I think they were meant to give a talk at an animation conference in Manchester or something
Right.
like that. And
Yeah.
I just quickly connected you to that project because
Yeah.
I'd seen references to that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, talk us through that. And I remember your time in Mauritius working on the
Yeah.
project also.
Yeah.
So
Oh
yeah.
man, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Just even thinking about it, like just hearing you talk about it, it's been a lot.
Mhm.
I'll just pick some projects
Yeah.
for I think for animation. The first animation project I worked on, which was supposed to be a TV series, was in Nigeria, a studio in Dreamcast, but the studio closed down. But I mean, being in that team helped out because I played multiple roles. I was a character designer. I modeled at some point. I did storyboard. I also did some texturing. So I played around that. In my head, I had no idea it was preparing me for something, and that's one thing I've learned. Every opportunity is preparing you for something, bad
Mhm.
or good. It's preparing you for something. When I was in Dreamcast, that's the animation studio, then they were not paying the best. It was really, it was really low, but we were doing it anyway. It was fun. It was a learning curve for me. Then after that, I think the first opportunity I had was in Triggerfish, which was a
Okay.
completely different role. It was just, hey Samson, we saw your stuff. Let me even break it down. How I got that job.
Mhm.
Funny. Don Jazzy, the big producer in Nigeria,
Mhm.
put out a post about a competition. People that remember this remember this. It's called the Doro Superhero. They had a music video called Doro Bushi at the time. So they wanted to
Yeah,
create a
Dobuchi.
superhero and they made a competition. I put in for the competition. I don't know if I was top 5 or top 10 or whatever. But I gave it my best. I designed the way I would design for a feature film, at the time. So
Mhm.
I made the post. Forgot about it like 6 months later. Just got an email. Hey Samson, I'm so from Triggerfish. We saw your stuff. We're creating a superhero project, and we think what you did for this is similar to what we're looking for. Mind, this is not in my portfolio. This is not what I was doing for work. This was just, let me just put in for this thing, see how it goes. That was specifically what they hired me for.
Wow.
They were like, we're literally looking for someone that can design a superhero, in the African style. That was exactly what they hired me for. So they hired me for the job. Wasn't so much money, but it was the first job in South
Mhm.
Africa at the time. I did it, gave it my best. Few years later, they reached out, hey Samson, we were pitching some projects. We want someone to work on some pitch. We see you can do concept art and character design. Can you hop on? I was like, yeah, why not? Hopped on it, worked, gave it my best for like 6 months. Those projects are now on Netflix. This is like 4 years before they came out. I was like one of the first artists that actually brought them to life, like exploring and doing everything on those projects. So on that project, I met one of the artists to LinkedIn. And one thing I've learned is just be good. You don't have to be fake.
Mhm.
Be friends with people and don't be fake. Be friends with them not because of what you want to get. Be friends with them because you want to be friends. So I was friends with him. We were really good friends online. We never met. I never got a chance to go to South Africa. We're just connecting. You know, we worked on the project for like 6 months. 2 years went by, and I just got a message. Hey, Samson. No, I got a random message. Hey, Samson. There's opportunity for a team to go work in Mauritius. We highlighted you. We like to have a conversation about it. I was like, yeah. At the time, I've never left Nigeria. But I was like, man, I don't want to know what the project is about. I'm going. I'm your guy. So we had the meeting, and on the call, I heard my friend's voice. I was like, wait, is LinkedIn there? They were like, yeah, it's the art director. I was like, oh wow, I had no idea. So he had recommended me. So actually been finding opportunities for me. Long, I didn't even know. We were just friends. So that happened. And on that role, he said, he specifically hired me to be a character designer, a biz dev artist, because he knows I have the all-round knowledge. Again, ties back to my time at Dreamcast.
Yeah.
This was low budget production. At Dreamcast, we didn't have a goal. We're just trying to make it work. But that prepared me. That hard time prepared me for this good opportunity in Mauritius. And many other opportunities like that. But I would say, like, I just had to evolve. I just had to evolve. Not be afraid to take these roles. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you very much for sharing that. I mean, it's good to see how just putting your best into something can set you up for bigger things than you can even imagine. So that's an interesting one. I'm also curious to hear about your affiliations. I understand that you've mentioned CGMA. I'm curious to see or hear about other organizations that you think upcoming artists should aim to be affiliated with that can help them in terms of expanding their networks or growth. Yes.
I think a lot has changed now. What I would say is the big thing is post your work everywhere you can post your work.
Okay.
I won't say one specific one. Of course, ArtStation is like the number one. Everybody knows ArtStation. But post your work everywhere you can post your work. Connect with people genuinely. You have no idea who's gonna help you. Funny enough, you can even be the one that will help somebody you don't even know. So just connect with people. But I would say the biggest place to learn is YouTube. It's YouTube. Because here in Canada, I took a course. Interestingly, I finished this last week, so I'm done with my course. After all this whole journey, thank you so much. After this whole journey, I decided to actually go study animation. Not because of I just want to study, but again, like it's been something I really wanted to do. Now I can afford it. Why not? And you can never learn. You can never learn everything. Coming here is a different ballgame. But so I don't know everybody can afford that. YouTube is a very good platform. Even while in school, I was still using YouTube. Till now, I still use YouTube. So everything is on YouTube. I would say YouTube is the number one, if I'm being honest, to like learn and watch interviews like this. It really helps. But yeah,
interesting. I mean, it's a good thing that you mentioned that because it can almost feel like, yes, Segun, accomplished artist, things like that. Where is he? Does he have this secret school where he's learning his own thing? But you've just mentioned YouTube, so and that's the go-to platform for many of us. At the end of the day, it's just about whether you're determined enough to find what you want. Because if anything that I share with people, learning has become so democratized. I don't know if that's
it's so
mixing it
easy
up.
now.
So you can be anywhere as long as you have access to the internet, and you can compete with people across the world. Interesting. So Segun, organizations, like, are you a member of any, I don't know, arts organizations or council or anything like that? Okay.
No, but that's something I'm trying to do in 2024. It's interesting you're doing this because in 2024, my goal is actually to intentionally give back, and like if there's no organization I can join, I'll probably set up one. To like give back and try to be a body where people can run to like ask questions and get in touch with people. Because for me, one thing that helped me was being curious, and also I had a lot of mentors. I had so many people that have been nice to me for free. So many amazing people, man. So I want to be one of those people for people, and also connect people to those kind of people. So I'm not part of any council or anything yet.
Okay, council. Okay. Well, interesting. But I mean, every time you mention this, though, CGMA jumps out, YouTube jumps out, and Domestika also jumps out. Those are platforms where people can, not necessarily be affiliated with, but they can go there and
you
learn.
can always get something from it.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. So, coming to the business side of things, because you're a professional artist, you're walk us through the business side of your creative process. If you make a
Yeah.
living from this, Domestika is obviously one that I
Yeah.
know in terms of a course out there, but
Yeah.
walk
I
us through, yeah.
The business of it, man, it's still growing. If I'm being honest, we just jumped into this thing, don't even know it was a business.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because most of my career I worked freelance.
Okay.
Um, Business part of it for artists, really, I would say, is just the pricing part, how you price and how you like, make yourself, out there and have a structure to your billing and all that. It's a lot easier now because you could literally just go online and search for like rates.
Yeah,
Know your
references, right?
standard and just get rates. But for me, the business parts growing up, try to see how, man, we just winged it, man. We really didn't have any structure. If I tell you have any structure, we're lying.
Yeah.
The only structure we had was maybe like 9 to 5 jobs that paid
Mm-hmm.
salary. I mean, when I was working with you, we had like a salary conversation.
Yes.
So things like
Mm-hmm.
that were the only structure. But aside that, we just winged it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now though, I mean, so Domestika is one option for you, right? So you can
Yes.
actually create
Yes.
courses,
Yes.
So for
Yes.
you, what other options are out there? What other
Oh yeah,
options?
there's so many. I think one I really want to tap into is two actually. I mean,
Okay.
I'm one already. Teaching
Mm-hmm.
is actually one I want to really tap into because I
Okay.
feel like aside from it being like a career goal for me, is also a business. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
really lucrative business.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching and also speaking
Okay.
is one of the businesses I want to go into as an artist coming next year because now I'm a lot free and I have a lot more structure around myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, teaching and speaking, public speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, which ones are you currently doing? So your
Teaching
Domestika.
Domestika is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Domestika is one, but next year I know starting fresh
Mm.
with like going for talks and stuff. So
Are you still freelancing though? Are you still?
yeah, but not
Okay.
as much because this year has been really busy. So I had
With
to like cut down
school?
freelance for a while. Yeah, school and just moving. Yeah, it's a
Mm.
lot. So I
Mm.
just cut down freelancing for a while. But next year I should be back.
Okay, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are you currently working on? I mean, can you walk us through your current projects? Are you?
I can say,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
can
Okay.
say for sure it's like it's gonna be one of the biggest things that I know would change so many careers. Just
Mm.
as some project changed my career. So yeah, it's gonna inspire a lot of people. It's gonna change the industry. It's one of the projects the world is waiting for, animation wise. So it's like a very big one. That's all I can say.
Interesting. Okay, I'm looking. And then, what are your? Well, I was going to ask about your future plans, but
Mhm.
you've just mentioned some of them.
Yeah,
More speaking
yeah,
engagements, more uh, teaching courses.
yeah.
But are there any other exciting projects that you'd like to share with us, or your wish list of collaborations or projects for the coming year going forward?
Okay, I know I'm in talks with my friends, like these same friends we started out, Olumimi John, Johnson. I'm sure you know them for
I know
sure.
them. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
so we set a goal like a few years ago where we were like, man, let's just go get experience. Let's get proper experience and not just so we're trying for Nigeria, no, like proper industry experience, and we'll come back together and create a game or an animation. So we're getting closer to that. I think from next year we're gonna start like really diving into like the dev. Um, that's a project I know I'm looking forward to. Aside that, it's just this project I'm on that I wish I could talk about, but I can't.
No, it's fine. I understand,
Yeah,
and then I mean it's a good thing that you mentioned your co-collaborators, your friends,
yeah,
your co-collaborators. I know Lubimi John. He's been in London. We've been in touch quite a number of
right.
times. I've also reached out to him when my partner Tugu,
Mm,
who's currently wrapping up his animation master's program,
nice.
when we spoke at some point, and I said, oh wow, you might want to speak with Olubimi John
Yeah,
because he's been in this industry.
yeah,
He might be able to give you some tips. And
for sure.
yeah, I reached out to Olubimi John, and yeah, he was very receptive to speaking with him, and I think they might have spoken back
Nice.
then.
Nice a cool
I
guy.
haven't. Yeah, I haven't been in touch with Zeno for some time now, though.
It's
But I
doing good.
think
It's doing good.
that's
Yeah,
good to hear, and I'm looking forward to seeing that project of yours come to life.
yeah.
Um, so Shegu, I'm also curious. So I mean, you do all these amazing projects. I mean, are you someone that people can work with? I mean,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
are you open, to,
for sure.
and how can they find you? Is there an agent that they need to go through,
No,
or
not at this point. You
okay?
could reach out to me directly. I mean, I'm open to conversations at this point,
Hmm?
not really like hands-on projects because I'm trying not to
Yeah,
take on too much.
yeah.
But I'm open to conversations. See how we could collaborate. My email is always the best way. I could probably share with you, so you could put it on this post for you. But yeah, like email is the best way to reach out to me.
Hmm. How
Yeah,
about I'm curious because I mean, it used to be that because when I first met you,
mhm,
I mean, I could just go on Instagram or
yeah, easily.
Facebook and see your stuff and be
Yeah,
blown away.
yeah.
Can people reach you via those
Oh
platforms? Do
yeah,
you
for sure.
respond to DMs
For
and
sure, for sure.
ah,
But I just try to like filter it so I know when it comes through email, it's like work. But
okay,
like
okay.
if it's just to chat and have conversations, for sure, my Instagram is like the fastest way to reach out to me.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. And because I mean, again, you don't want to put your email out there, in
yeah.
public just like that. So it can help start the conversation from IG,
Oh, for
right?
sure, for
Okay.
sure,
How
for
about
sure.
platforms like LinkedIn? Also, are you very active
LinkedIn,
on there?
very, very active. I think LinkedIn is like the number one app on my phone right now because I open it like every time. I mean,
Mm,
even being here, the culture here is like you got to be connected as much as you can.
I agree.
Yeah, LinkedIn for sure. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, but again, I feel like email is still more structured. If you ask me,
Okay.
like LinkedIn is where you can check out what I've done. I could check
Hmm.
you out. You could
Hmm.
also start conversation on LinkedIn. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
like email is just like the more structured where I know. Okay, here's where I can track everything that's going on, and you know have
Mm.
like I know when I'm off and on. It's easier to track from my email. But again, like LinkedIn for sure, you could reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's no problem
Because the
there.
reason why I mentioned that is, of course, for the benefit of people out there who are
Mhm,
looking to work with you.
mhm.
I don't know, someone at Disney
Right.
or what's this organization that I used to mention back then when we were
Which
working
one?
together? UBI Soft.
Oh man, see, I had dreams of working in game studios at that time.
So yeah, so Shagun, with those ones, I mean, would you appreciate me just putting out your email out
For
there?
sure, for sure,
Really?
for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Why
Okay.
I say email is even to date,
Hmm.
99% of all the opportunities I've gotten via
Hmm.
email. Because
Okay.
even our station is still my email. You're still gonna send a message to, so
Oh.
it's still email, really.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. Interesting. Then I'll put that out there. So,
Thank
uh,
you.
do you have any tips for artists that are looking to follow in your footsteps? I'm sure you
Mm,
have them. I'm not going to
yeah.
restrict them to one or two. Just
Mhm.
go for it, because there's a lot of people out there. A lot of people out there who are looking to follow in your footsteps.
Yeah,
Share
I
your
think
tips.
I think my advice, like these days when I get opportunities like this, like give advice or just share tips. I always highlight like things I did wrong and things people shouldn't do.
Hmm.
Um, I also like don't be afraid, man. Just know you're enough. Know like whatever design you as an artist, you have a voice. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. You have a unique voice. I say it like you have a song only you can sing. Nobody else can sing it, just you. So just know that, and that would drive you. That would drive you for sure. And don't be mediocre. Like try to be
Mm.
up there. Try to be up there. Like coming here to Canada, if I wasn't ready, I would. It would be so hard. It would be so hard. And I have so much to learn. I still have my weaknesses. But like try to be good at what you do. If you need to take courses, take courses. If you need to take specific mentorship, take them. Those help me a lot. Like specific paid mentorships too helped a lot. Because sometimes like there are some artists that you really can't have like a one-on-one with them for free. Not like they don't want to, but they don't have. They're so big and so
Yeah.
busy. So
Mhm.
like they created like platforms where they have paid mentorship. Those help. Then you have one-on-one and you get like personalized feedbacks. That helps a lot.
Mhm.
And just keep connecting.
Hmm.
Just keep connecting. Believe in your voice and take mentorship. Keep growing your skills.
Hmm.
Opportunities will
Shagun,
come.
I'm going to touch on that mentorship bit because I think it's
Mhm,
also very important.
mhm.
So when you say paid mentorship and there are
Yeah,
platforms where you can connect, can you
yeah.
mention a few of those for people
Oh
who
yeah.
are out there?
So
Yeah.
I know Anim School for animators. Anim School is like, of course, one of the top animation mentor too, one of the top. But they have some courses on modeling. CGMA has mentorships. Um, the last one I took, which was like 2 years or 3 years ago, which was so good. I don't know if it's still functioning. Mode 3D. I took a mentorship with one of the supervisors at DreamWorks. It was so good for 8 weeks. I remember because of the time difference in Nigeria, I was waking up like 4 a.m. or something like that to like meet up with the classes. But yeah, CGMA, Domestika don't have mentorship, but they're pretty close because you get personalized feedbacks. So that's something that's priceless. Yeah, I think those are the ones. Then specific artists have like patrons where they, you know,
Okay.
yeah,
So if you're a member, if you're what I don't know what do you
member
call
or
it, you're
something,
a
a
member of something
patron,
where you
yeah,
pay, yeah, where you support their
yeah,
courses,
yeah. You
support
get
their work. Yeah.
personalized feedbacks, yeah.
And that would really, really work.
Schoolism, yeah, I remember
Wow.
now. Schoolism is a big one.
Okay.
Schoolism is a big one. I never got a chance to actually study on schoolism, but I know it's a big one. Changed so many artists' life. So it could be one of them.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting. Thank you very much for sharing this, Segun. I
sure,
mean, I'm sure this will
sure.
be well appreciated by people out there. Yeah. So, I mean,
Thank you for
pleasure
actually
catching
doing
up with you.
this.
This
Thank
is,
you
I
for
mean,
doing this.
I've always wanted to do this,
Yeah, I'm so
so
happy you're doing it because
yeah.
I did something like this earlier this year,
Mhm.
and it's so funny. I had no idea. Like even before my interview, she's actually
Mhm.
interviewed people that actually helped me.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. So it was a lot to know that I'm actually in that position to actually talk where people that
Mhm.
inspired me are talking. So you
Mhm.
never can tell what you're doing is actually going to inspire like generations of artists and
Thank you
creatives.
very,
So thank you for doing this.
thank you very much. But I'm going to stop the recording now. But please
No
stay
problem.
on.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Thank you so much.